Morning everyone. So we arrived here last night around 5:30 and we were just looking for somewhere to pitch the tent. So we found a good spot down here by the river. So we're going to pack up shortly, dry everything off, get back in the truck and drive round to the other side of the glen and then hike up into Glen Feshie for the day and find somewhere to wild camp for this evening. We've left the truck up in a car park just at the top of the hill, and it's a place that we recognised when we pulled in. It's somewhere we cooked our Christmas dinner about 5 years ago when we were camping in the truck. But if you come down from the car park, you've got this lovely area here, just on the, I think we're on the western shores of Ruighe-Aiteachain. Beautiful. When we arrived last night, there was about 4 or 5 canoeists came down here. Looked like great fun. But I'm enjoying my morning coffee. I recently picked up these Yeti Rambler mugs. This is the 14-ounce version, so it's about 430 ml, and like double wall insulated stainless steel, and they've got a lid on them, so it kept my beer lovely and cold last night, and it's going to keep my coffee nice and hot for a good half hour this morning. So finding the colder months when you're using the little titanium mugs we use, by the time you filtered your coffee in, it's stone cold unless you're in the summertime. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the day. I think the weather forecast is just to be pretty much like this: low-lying cloud, chance of rain, maybe the odd bit of sunshine. So we're just setting off in Glen Feshie now. We've left the car at the car park at Aiteachain, I think it's called. And there's a Bothy down here which we might stay in for lunch if we make it in time. But it's a little bit chilly, isn't it, Tris?
It is.
Yeah, there's a bit of a chill in the breeze. But we're walking on a tarmac road at the moment, so I think it's about 1 kilometre on the tarmac, and then you head down onto a trail. So we'll crack on and catch up with you in a bit. So I'm carrying a fair amount of weight for this trip. I've got the old Kiker backpack on, which weighs over 3.5 kilos before you put anything in it. But we're not going up high, and you know, it's pretty chilly at this time of year, so we've got a few extra comforts for camping. Right, there's a little rock here which says up at Glen Feshie, so we'll head up this way. Right, time to get wet feet. So that burn was in full flow there. Trish pretty much just waded through and got water into her boots. But we do usually carry a pair of sealskins waterproof socks each, but for the first time in months we didn't bring them with us because we have never had to use them. Well, they would have been useful for today, but never mind. So I just bumped into a couple from YouTube. I didn't catch the names, but the channel is Outdoor Intrigue. They also have an Instagram account as well, which is fairly popular. But yeah, they just walked past and we recognised each other, so we just stopped and had a chat for 10 minutes. They're heading off up into the into the hills over there. But yeah, nice couple. So they lived down in Brighton, and obviously if you're trying to get up to the Cairngorms from there, it's going to take you a long time. So they've moved up to Scotland a few years back, and they're out and about exploring the hills. So that was nice to see those. So if you're watching, guys, hope you had a good day. That's going to be dodgy going across there, though. Yeah. So we just done another river crossing there, which was a little bit sketchy, to be fair. Tris just went straight through again, so she has wet feet, but she's got a couple of pairs of spare socks, so she'll be all right. But we've come up into this lovely pine forest now, so yeah, I'm enjoying this walk. Glen Feshie, it's fantastic. It's one of those areas where they've got a, I think they call it rewilding, but it's more like forest regeneration, where they keep the deer numbers low. I think they keep them down to something like 2 per square kilometre, as opposed to the average in Scotland, which I think is 5. So they reduce the grazing pressure in the woodlands, which allows ecological succession, or secondary succession is the biological word for it. Basically just lets the trees, the forest expand and regrow. So we're walking through these woodlands. It's beautiful. Looks like you could be in Sweden or Norway or somewhere. But we noticed a big red deer just to the right hand side of us. It was a female, but we didn't stop to look because it's the rutting season at the moment, and you've just got to give them a wide berth, especially the stags. You don't want to be getting too close to them or interfering with them in any way. Now we've come to a crossroads. I think we need to head down here, Tris. So there's an area of more storm damage here. This happened in a big storm a few years back. Whoa, just been snagged by a tree. Massive landslide apparently. But you can get around this way, just about. Are you coming through, Tris?
Yeah.
Yeah, you alright?
Yes. Just.
So we've got another burnt across here. I think it's just been so wet over the past few days up in the north that all these burns would usually be, you know, easy to navigate, but at the moment they're all kind of washed out. I wouldn't go over there, Tris, that's just going to take us into that boggy ground. Oh yeah, see if we can reach that. My shoes are holding up alright, to be fair. My socks are a little damp, but Tris has just, you've just been like wringing your socks out, haven't you?
Yeah, it's starting to dry.
I'm just going to get over here. So So Triss is wringing out her socks for the, what is this, the 4th time? So we've arrived at the Bothy. I think this is the finest Bothy in Scotland apparently. It's done up recently. It's like a 5-star hotel inside, so I've been told. So we've been in the Bothy now for a good couple of hours. There's a chap in there, so we've been talking to him for ages. Some other folk have come in, so we're tempted to just camp somewhere around here because the fire's going to be going on soon, and we can dry our shoes and socks by the fire throughout the evening, and then just maybe camp outside the Bothy. But Triss has come to see if there's any toilets, which I think there is here. Is there?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. That could be a proper old French style ones. Get in. Look at that. Beautiful. Happy days. Squat toilets. But what a fantastic place. Really nice Bothy. It'll get busy later on, I think, but it looks like there might be a bit of rain on the horizon, and it's going to rain tomorrow. So we can get into Bothy for breakfast as well, can't we, Triss?
Yeah.
Might be worth doing, might be an idea. I'll just walk around, I'll give you a look at the outside of the place. So I think that this Bothy is just maintained by the estate. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Mountain Bothy Association. Could be wrong, mind. You've got some nice timber furniture here. Barbecue there. But the estate provides firewood, which is great. I mean, they don't have to do that. Often when people come to Bothys, they'll drag in big bags of coal with them. But yeah, it's really well thought out, well looked after place. So we decided against staying around the Bothy in the end. We've been in there for a few hours. We got there and had our lunch, so we're just kind of itching to get out and do a little bit more walking. So we're going to head down to the river and find somewhere to camp, I think. We can always walk up to the Bothy in the night once the fire's going. I'll get in there for breakfast in the morning. But we're just going to have a wander down here and see what's what. And hear the river. Can you hear it, Triss?
Seems to be coming from
Yeah,
there.
from down there maybe. So we're hiking through this, I mean, it just looks like one giant dry riverbed. It's huge, probably stretches for about half a kilometre on the bottom of the glen. But then the river runs through here, so I don't think we'll be crossing it unless Triss fancies getting her shoes wet again. But yeah, I don't know, Triss, I don't think we'll be crossing this. What do you reckon?
No, I don't think so.
River's just a bit too wide and a bit too deep. But just on the other side we can see the wild ponies. but I'm not really sure if there's anywhere we can camp around here. Doesn't look good, does it?
No.
So I'm just going to filter some water here. I really wish we could find a nice flat patch of grass somewhere around here to pitch the tent, because it's a really good location, but there's nowhere to pitch a tent. The ground's already rocky, or it's full of heather down there, so we might have to wander back towards the Bothy. So Trish just took the opportunity to dry her socks out for a bit. It looks lovely down there. The sun's just coming through and hitting the tops of those pine trees. So I think what we'll do is get the packs back on and see if there's a path that runs down here. The OS map says there is, but we didn't see one, but we'll go and have another look. Hopefully we'll be able to find somewhere to pitch the tent down there. If not, I dare say we'll head back to the Bothy. So I think we've reached the point where we need to make a decision whether or not to kind of carry on down this track. I'll just give you a look at it. It just seems to be forested all the way down this hillside. Then you've got this wide riverbed here, but you can't really pitch a tent on there. There's no way we're going to be able to drive the pegs in. And obviously it's full of rocks as well, like, which is another issue. So I think we might just have to turn back. It's getting, I think it's about 5:45 now, and it starts to get dark at like 7ish. In fact, you're going to be totally out of light around about then, so we need to hurry up and make our minds up. Just as keen on like walking, but the further you walk, the further it is that you've got to come back, and we know that there's nowhere really to camp for a good couple of kilometres at least. Trace, what's it looking like up there? Yeah, I just don't think we're going even higher, aren't we?
We're going even higher, and there's all this forest, so I don't think
Yeah, I think we just need to turn around and
yeah.
cut our losses. We haven't got enough time really to
explore it.
Yeah, and the problem is we know that there's nowhere to camp for at least 1.5 kilometres down there, so
Yeah.
should we just head back towards the Bothy and camp around there?
Yeah, I think I like the Bothy spot.
Yeah.
And there's a nice warm fire maybe.
Yeah, there might be a fire there as well. So yeah, we'll do that. On you go, Tris. You lead the way. We'll have to come back and organise a multi-day route through Glen Feshie, I think. I did have a good look on the map. You can link a few trails up, and I mean, you either go across the tops of the hills or down through the valleys for much of this area. But that'll be one for the future, I think. Morning. So we spent last night in the Bothy. Oh, great night. There wasn't too many people in, but yeah, real good experience. But we came out and we camped in the tent at about 11 o'clock last night. But the wind picked up during the night, so it got breezy, but the tent was absolutely solid. And the breeze was a bit of a benefit actually, because we've woke up this morning with 0 condensation in the tent. So we're just getting packed up. It's about 9 o'clock now. We're going to head on into the Bothy and have some coffee and some breakfast, and then we'll be hiking on out. So this is us just leaving the Bothy now. Everyone else who was staying here is pretty much gone, apart from the chap, the caretaker, Lindsay. If you've stayed at this Bothy, you might have met him before. And there's another chap called Richard who's spending a few days up here. So we've left them to it, and we're going to head back towards the truck. But the weather's changed. It wasn't too bad yesterday, but it's really windy this morning. The wind came through last night. I could hear it whistling through the treetops, but it didn't really give the tent any trouble at all. So yeah, how you feeling, Tris?
Oh, feeling great.
It was a good night, wasn't it?
It was a lovely night.
Yeah, I mean, we could have slept in that bothy. There wasn't that many people. There was a group of 3 girls who were originally from Skipton and Ilkley but live in Glasgow and Edinburgh. There was 3 chaps from Sherburn in Elmet, I think, near York.
Yeah.
A couple of lads from Aberdeen. Then Lindsay, Richard and us 2, but we slept in the tent. At least you can guarantee yourself a snoring free night in the tent. That's assuming that I didn't snore last night, Tris. So we were given advice not to follow the track by the river, where there's been multiple landslides. And it's pretty tough going with a couple of dodgy river crossings. The chap in the bothy said just stay on the 4x4 track all the way up the woods, and then you can veer off and miss all that section out. So as you walk along this 4x4 track, if you're trying to get out of the bothy without going around the tough bits, you'll pass a pond there, and then you carry on, you come to a fork in the road, and this apparently is a stalker's path. So that'll wind you through the woods and then take you over the river a bit further up, where it should be easier to cross, and then you can rejoin the main track. So we'll head up, and I wonder what the river's like, because that river was crazy.
Yeah.
And it looks quite narrow up there, so it could just be a bit of a wasted journey, but we'll see. So we found the burn. This is what we crossed yesterday, further downstream, and it was a bit tricky. We got wet, but this looks a lot easier. There's a load more stepping stones, so hopefully we'll keep our feet dry. So I managed to scoot along, keep my feet dry pretty much. Tris, she couldn't do it. Like the stones are too far apart, so she has to do quite a big jump. So in the end she just waded through and had to wring her socks out again. So as you walk along the path, you can see bilberries, but I'm not sure, but we think we might have found a couple of lingonberries. I'm not really sure if they grow here in Scotland. You know, they grow plentiful up in Scandinavia, but there's a few little red berries kicking around. Be interesting to find out, so I'll have a Google when I get home and see if you can get lingonberries in this area. Tris wringing out her socks again. Well folks, I apologise if it's a bit windy. The mic's picking up the noise of the wind, but we're back on the main track now and we're almost at the car park, so we're going to sign off. But that was a cracking couple of nights, wasn't it, Tris?
It was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Glen Feshie, it's a great place. So yes, as ever, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you again in the next one.
Bye.